cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Cool.
Happy New Year! No, just kidding. Merry Christmas.
Happy 2 days after Christmas. So this is post-Boxing Day.
Post-Boxing Day.
Post-Boxing Day.
That's interesting. I never thought of it that way.
And I like the meme that was out showing that,
Happy Returns Day.
The 26th is the biggest, holiday of the year for cats. The real meaning of Boxing Day.
My cats loved all that stuff. Or my cat did. My dog was like, nah, I'm over this crap.
Yep.
Make it stop, make it go away.
We had boxes around. My cat's like, I don't care. I don't care. They mean nothing to me. He's just too old. He doesn't play with boxes.
He looks at everything and goes,
hi, everybody. Boxes are cat technology, in case you're wondering.
In case.
That's why it's on topic. So, John.
Yeah.
Did you tech this weekend?
Mean this whole past week?
Sure.
Wow, that's
I'm
bright.
sure you did. That's why we try to limit it to the week.
You guys can iris me down a little bit. It'd be great. And same thing with the wide one. It's way too bright. That's scaring people. No, actually, did I?
You must have.
I did not tech. Christmas Eve, we smoked and cooked food to see Christmas. We opened up stuff, and believe it or not, I didn't get any tech, so that's awesome. And then Sunday, I delivered a camper yesterday, so no, we're good.
Good man.
Yeah,
Good man.
I kind of kept it easy.
Yeah.
I kept it easy. Yeah.
I have mastered my motion sickness in an Oculus. So
yeah. See,
I killed the battery, Saturday night.
Did you really?
Yeah, 2 hours straight out in the
So you're going to
Star
give your
Wars
handle out so everybody can reach out to you?
No, not yet. I'm working on it.
Yeah, because you can actually have a whole bunch of Oculuses all over join each other in a I guess in
the MetaVerse
room.
Yeah, haven't done that yet. Still overplaying on.
Well, no, you can actually. If you're playing the game, we can play in the same game. We can all be in the same game.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
I would like that.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
Because everybody's going to hear me go, this is really fun. This is really great. I'm having a great time.
No, what are you doing? No. Just grab that. No, just
stop touching that. You're not supposed to touch that. What the hell's wrong with you? Don't go in that room. See, Dylan has one of his original or his VR, and there's this one game that he wanted everybody to play where you walk in, the little girls jumped out at you or something like that. I'm like,
oh yeah, one of the scare games.
I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm really, really good.
Nope.
So,
no, I'm having fun on Galaxy's Edge.
So what'd you get for Christmas? Anything good?
Galaxy's. Well, I got the Oculus. Okay, and so that was kind of freaking amazing. And I think one of the things about it though was really adjusting to the motion sickness, because a couple things. Number one. In this round, they figured out that they had the PD, the pupillary distance, set in version 1. Now in version 2, you can adjust it. And that was causing a lot of the motion sickness, because it was forcing people to sit there and look at stuff cross-eyed if their PD was wider than their average, or narrower, and that was causing the issue. So now you got 3 settings within that.
Okay.
I also got the upgraded band on the back. That makes a big difference too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get the one that's got a? Here I am. I'm a bad host. I got my cables running around. Did you get the one with the larger hard drive?
I think it's 128 instead of the 256.
Okay.
But I mean, I won't do that much with it. But I am very pleased with the quality. I mean, I love watching Netflix in it.
Wait a minute, wait. You watched Netflix in the Oculus?
In the Oculus.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So I haven't even thought about that.
There are 2 viewing modes for it. One, you're sitting in this alpine chalet, and it's got all the wood and the red leather sofa, and you're kicked back on that.
Okay.
Sitting next
All
to
right.
you, and you got a big screen in front of you to sit and watch Netflix. Or you can click on the void button, and everything goes away. And it's just gray. But in the void, you can go ahead and adjust the size and shape of the screen to the point where you just IMAXed your Netflix experience. The problem with that one is just like being up too close at IMAX. You're doing this, trying to watch the Wiki.
And you can't because then you're kind of moving. You're moving the screen at that point. Now, did you watch it with your glasses?
Just your head. You're moving the whole kit and caboodle. Thank you very much. That was my watch, by the way.
Wow, his watch talks to him. Dick Tracy.
Yeah. I'm a dick.
So did you wear your glasses?
Yes, I had to switch back to my older glasses because they're smaller and they're narrower, and I wear bifocals. So I was able, and mine, it also came with the eyeglass adapter.
Yeah, mine's got
Okay,
that.
you
I
got
just
that
don't.
too, yeah.
Right.
So I have to wear my
It's in
glasses
that box up there.
because I don't know how to make it focus without them.
You can't.
Exactly.
So-
it's set for 2020.
Yeah.
And so I wear my glasses inside it. And that was, I think, part of my initial issue, was I also started with my much larger glasses. And when you have bifocals, I mean, everything's pretty much centered. So how do you tilt your head to look through your bifocals?
So wouldn't it be kind of, I'm just throwing this out there. So wouldn't it be kind of cool if you put yours on and it had a little scanner inside and it reads?
One or two.
Right. It says which one is, and then when you find it,
Exactly.
they're like, boom, that's your settings.
Yeah, that's your settings.
That would be kind of cool,
That would be
man.
an amazing upgrade, because then I could just lose the glasses.
Right.
And just, it'd be a lot more comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
To have it without the glasses on.
Yeah, because I
But
can't, I guess that would be the whole reason to go get contacts.
That's the other option. I tried contacts 20 years ago, and I could feel the ridge around the
I have a hard time with anything touching my eyeballs.
I can deal with the eyeball thing. It took some getting used to, but I could. But the ridge around the edge of the lens always felt like I had a hair in my eye.
Yeah.
Every time I
You want to touch it.
and it just drove me nuts.
Right.
So
Okay.
I
It's
had
not
to
only
take
me.
them out after like 8
So
hours.
we're both
So
nuts.
there you go. Yep.
All right. So speaking of Christmas, right? Here's a now, you put this in, so the title of the thing is
Yep.
Grinch-bots, the Grinch-bots.
Yep.
Steal Christmas from procrastinating holiday shoppers. So in other words,
Software.
people out there buying crap.
Well, what they're doing is people are shopping for stuff. These bots go ahead and identify what the hot items are. Then they go on the Amazon store or whatever it is where you're buying them, and they buy them all. They just, grab all the volume and then turn around and resell them at a markup. And that's that. So they are now monopolizing the market and controlling the market. And if the vendor does not have the right kind of protections in place, which if you have a WooCommerce store, you can do that. You can set it so that somebody can only buy 2 or somebody can only buy 1.
Oh.
And so, yeah, you can set it so that they can't buy volume. Now, these bots will go in and they'll create probably multiple identities in order to get around stuff like that.
But that's extra work
But
on them at
it's
that
extra
point.
work on them. But, you want to make it as hard as possible. But, yeah, these people were going out and they're buying everything up. It was like the guy with the garage full of hand sanitizer back in, March.
Or toilet paper.
Or toilet paper.
Well, they say that shoppers got 258% more out-of-stock messages in November than they did 2 years ago.
Well,
How do you do 258? Well, I guess 258.
I'm not terribly surprised by that, given as there might have been a supply chain issue. But the real problem is, were these actually supply chain issues, or were
they bots?
Were these Grinch-bots?
Right.
Grabbing all this stuff. I mean, they were named after the episode of, well, not the episode, the movie, the book, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and how he tried to steal all the presents from all the Who's down in Whoville.
Whoville.
And so that's what.
So no, okay. So what are they going to do with all this product? Are they going to?
Hoping it's hot enough and popular enough, they'll sell it at a markup. Worst case scenario, they've made enough money on the desperate people that they can then dump them at a discount when they're done.
Or do they return them for a refund?
Oh,
so
that would be.
So
is it okay to say dick move?
That is a dick
'Cause
move.
that would be, oh.
But I mean,
talk
think
about taking no risk.
so. If you think about it, if someone goes and buys all this and they hold it, and then right at the 26th to
Yep.
go, oh, I want to return everything.
Never
It's
mind.
not. I just didn't want it.
Yeah, and the thing is, with the way PayPal is structured, if they use PayPal to pay for it, PayPal will give them their refund and fault the vendor, period. So
But
if they play the contracts right,
Right.
they just get all their money back anyway.
And then if it's Amazon, I know that's a trigger word for you, but if it's Amazon, it's just a return.
Yeah.
That's
But you get your money
crazy.
back.
Could you imagine?
And
That's
this
ridiculous.
is a risk-free business model, which is what makes it so freaking popular with criminals and with anybody. I mean, it's risk-free business model, and there's no such thing as risk-free earnings for real. If you don't risk something, then how is it you're profiting? In this case, because they can return the merchandise after the fact, whatever they haven't sold, they hurt the consumer, they hurt the manufacturer, okay, and lose nothing in the process. They
Right.
take zero pain. And that is not capitalism.
Nope.
That is theft of services. And so, yeah, this is something that really needs to be stopped. And if we can have legislation against it, that's great, because I'd love to be charging these people whenever possible.
Right. I mean,
That-
they should be. There should be a penalty.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, okay, so if you buy one or two, like you
if
got
you buy
family,
one or two.
one didn't work, I'm sending one back. That's understandable. When you buy 50,
Yes.
Right.
And you're sending
four,
20 back.
or 49
Whatever.
back, no, they're
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah.
That was a bulk buy.
Well, no, I see it if they keep one and send it back, that's fine, assuming there wasn't a discount. But if they're going to sell back 20 out of 50, that means they sold 30 and they're asking you to hold their inventory. Okay, and that's BS. So I would think that would be the kind of, delineator on that thing, because I could see, legit circumstances where, you bought 50, you opened up, they aren't what you want, but you opened it, so you sent back 40.
But why would you buy 50?
Because you thought you needed 50. Imagine buying microphones for this place. We open the first one and it sucks. We're going to return the other 40 or 39 or whatever
Well,
it was. There's a balance that we bought.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't buy that
yeah.
many without testing them. I think when you buy over 10 of anything, that's a bulk buy, and that's exactly what people are doing.
How about
So
eggs?
I like eggs.
Oh, I got to bring you
Egg
eggs.
salad.
I got to bring you eggs.
Deviled eggs, boiled
Egg salad
eggs,
would be a
fried
great
eggs, omelets. I feel like Forrest Gump now. Love eggs. I love eggs. I love it. Anyway,
there we have it.
so so what? Okay, so Christmas was actually, other than being what Christmas is meant to be, actually NASA's big space telescope blasted off on Christmas Day.
Yes, it did. From down in Guyana, off the European spaceport down there. This puppy launched with the Webb telescope. Pretty amazing situation to have this happen. And some of the scientists involved were saying it was the scariest day of their life, because if anything goes wrong, this is it. Well, this is not a scary day. This is 6 months of pins and needles, because it wasn't just launching it and pushing it into orbit. It now has to move 1 million miles out from the Earth, not stop, but stay there, and then unfurl both its camera, mirrors, and a gigantic reflector screen. All of that opening is going to occur over the next 6 months, because they have to cool it to like negative 380 degrees, and the deflector screen keeps the sun from hitting it and heating it.
Right.
And that sounds great, except for there are 342 moving parts,
Yeah.
mechanisms,
So
servos, dynamos, that have no backup.
I watched the Discovery. That Discovery did a whole special about this rocket and the satellite. They practiced unfurling it and furling it like over 1,000 times just to make sure it would work.
That's awesome. Is that the motor they put into the rocket? Or was it one just like it? And there's your problem.
Oh, because it may not have been that
now
motor.
You've got one, okay, it needs to go 1,001. Well, parts of it are weak, parts of it have been,
And they've been working on this for what, 20 years?
This thing was already 10 years late and way over budget.
Yeah.
And so this whole situation is just a cluster bomb waiting to happen. Do you remember the movie Remo Williams?
Love Remo Williams.
Remo Williams is great.
Loved Remo Williams. Yes.
Okay, about how they were the Star Wars satellite they were launching, and it wasn't real, and they were planning on having a failed launch in order to hide that they had basically embezzled billions
of dollars. Yep.
And here we are sitting here with a design reliant upon 342 little servos, little motors, little mechanisms. Any one of them fails, and the whole thing is scrubbed.
Yep.
The whole thing is scrubbed. And so, I mean, you look at that and it's like, who the hell designed this? that this was a good idea, and we took 10 extra years to make it this
right.
wrong.
Right.
Okay, if this thing goes off and actually functions, it is going to be probably the greatest Hail Mary pass in human history. Okay, that's all I have to say. Right, this is insane.
Yeah,
And
it will be a game changer. For sure.
now, yeah, on the plus side,
Yeah.
if it works, and so we'll in 6 months we'll find out what happened. If it works, it's going to be able to give us another 400 million years back in the creation of the universe.
Right.
Because right now we can only see so much. We need to be able to see further because the universe has been expanding. And so we need to be able to see further, get more data, pull more light. And this thing has to be, 1 million miles from Earth. It's like 4 times the distance of the moon. It's got to be way out there. It's shielded from sunlight so that it can get a really clear image.
Okay, so I have a list of stuff that we're going to talk about on Twisted Views, and this is one of the topics: is how do you look back in space?
Oh,
back in time.
That's you want to know?
I do want to know.
Simple.
I don't think it's
Okay,
possible.
Ready? No, it's perfectly possible. Ready? The sun that you look up in the sky
Yeah.
it takes light 9 minutes to travel from the sun to us.
Right.
You're looking at the sun from 9 minutes ago. You are not looking at the sun as it is right now.
I get that.
Keep going. Now
Right.
you're a light year out. What
Okay.
you're seeing is something that happened a year ago.
Right.
If you go out 14 billion light years, you're looking at something that happened 14 billion years ago.
I get that, but
that's how it
but
works.
it still takes that time for it to get back to us.
It's that time.
So
that we have
it's
it. No,
okay.
it happened 14 billion years ago. And that's
so
why
if you can
just see it
capture the spark of a match being lit,
yes.
you're looking back in time.
Well, anytime you see anything, you're actually looking back in time.
Right.
Because it takes time for light to travel between your finger and your eye.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I get all that part, but that's
now we
not
are
looking.
talking-
But that's not looking back. Like they want to go back.
No. They're
There's
going
no
backwards
way.
in time. They're just able, because it's so far away,
Right.
we're only seeing what happened in time.
Yeah. And
Okay,
you will
but we're
only
seeing
and
it
you will still
14 billion years later.
Right, but you will only still only see it in time because it takes time for that satellite to get the information back to us.
Which is a
We never see-
second from the Bell. No. From the Webb telescope to
Right.
us is a matter of seconds. It's only 1 million miles.
It's only 1 million miles.
Only 1 million miles.
Only 1 million miles.
And you're traveling. Okay, I can tell you, it's 186,282.397 miles per second.
right, but yet
Okay,
they
so
can't.
you're talking 5 seconds.
But they can't drive the rover in real time.
No, because it takes 4 or 5 seconds for the information to, or more than that.
No,
40 million miles away.
Yeah,
now.
because
Yes.
when they give them, they send
the
up
speed of light, yeah.
they send up the information, and it's like 45 minutes to an hour later, it will move.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're talking 40 million miles at its closest pass from ours.
Yeah.
Okay, when you're on the other side of the sun, it's
Right.
even worse. Okay, you're picking up a whole lot of mileage there. But even at its closest pass, it would take, 5 times 40, it would take 200 seconds, about 3.5 minutes for, that's at its very closest.
Right.
3.5 minutes. Now
Right.
you want to move it to the other side of the sun? Yeah, now you're talking 30, 40, 50 minutes for the message to get there.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's it. Boom. Congratulations, we just solved it.
Ooh, yay. All right, so let's talk about China real quick. So Facebook has their MetaVerse, right?
Which Meta's their name.
Right.
Supposedly nobody was calling it the MetaVerse before.
Yeah,
Facebook
nobody
used its name.
ever.
I mean, we're definitely calling it the multiverse.
And nobody ever used that logo before either.
I know, I love that. Yeah.
Oh.
But
I love that little comment. They say, thanks for using our logo. Now that, how about paying us for it? Anyway,
Exactly.
China steps into metaverse with, I think I'm saying this right, is Baidu.
Baidu probably.
Baidu, and
Yep.
it says meet Zai Ring.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they have their own version of the metaverse.
Because they can't control what's in Facebook, so they have to have their own.
Oh,
and-
they got mad.
Yeah.
That's what happens. You create your own.
Yep.
But does it look the same?
Probably not exactly.
Have not been into the metaverse yet.
And
I'm scared to go in there. I don't want to get groped.
Land of hope. And so it's nice.
You
Yeah,
glossed right over that, didn't you?
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, that looks a whole lot like the Oculus headset. I mean, looks a lot like the Oculus headset.
Well, I think the look of the Oculus, the actual product itself,
Yeah.
that's the same across all platforms because they all use the same. It's the only way to do it. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw one the other. I watched this one gamer
Look at
guy.
that. I mean, those are the Oculus handsets.
Well, yeah.
This is crazy.
Well, they're probably the guys making it.
Yeah, you're right. They probably ordered them, and what they've done is they've now just bootlegged everything because that's what China does. They have.
Or did China make it first?
No.
Okay.
No, China doesn't make anything first.
I know the one kid there. He was complaining that he was walking under the stairs instead of on top of the stairs, right? And then the one girl was, if you watch the whole video, is we go in. She goes, "I don't know how to make conversation with people." But here's something funny I found: that a lot of their avatars look American,
They look very European.
very English. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
And, well, that's because those are the ones that were built into the MetaVerse, and since it's just a bootleg copy. Who knows? Maybe it'll cost less.
but we're Chinese. We're not Chinese. We can't get in there.
Oh, sure you can.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I want to go over there.
Use a VPN.
Oh, there you go. I could do that.
Yeah. So there you go. Anything we can do, they can do less better.
Less better.
Yes.
So this next one we're going to talk about, this to me is kind of freaky.
Yes.
Okay. It's called IRonCub. It's a small humanoid robot that can fly.
It's a little creepy.
Right.
I mean, just put some red hair on that one.
So my question is, go back to that shot, Rob, is why do they put fire retardant pants on it if it's not human? And why aren't the legs just metal to begin with instead of the pants thing?
Because you've still got servos and wires and all kinds of
put it all
things that
inside
have to
there.
function in
Well,
there.
put it inside the.
Well, it is inside. It's inside the little suit.
It kind of reminds me of there was a cartoon movie called Robot Kid or
Oh, I don't remember.
it was
I don't know. It looks like Chucky if he shaved his head. That's all.
oh my god. Well, that's what Rob said is like, oh great, we have flying Chuckies.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Except he has to put the jet engines down in order to pull out his knife. See?
Well,
Now
maybe
that's what I want.
maybe it just
I want
comes
one of
out.
those. I want a set of those. I totally want a set of those. So what
Trying
they
to
made
find-
is a tiny robot that can do the same thing. Congratulations. Yeah. As long as he's got a cord attached, he's got amazing balance.
There was a movie that this robot kind of looks like,
Yeah.
and I
Oh,
can't.
it is fairly standard. I just wish they'd done more with the face or the head or something. See, I would prefer that head over that little baby head because that's just freaky, dolls.
Well, can you imagine what you could do with that?
With the freaky doll baby?
No, yeah, right there. That could become a missile. That
It's
could
a new-
become
Yeah.
a
I mean,
weapon.
He's a drone, okay? And
Right.
so whatever you can do with a drone, he can do better. And I'm sorry, I am misgendering it. It can do better.
It can do
And
better.
It can do better. Anything you can do, it can do better.
I can't find the name of that
Yeah,
movie.
Except, of course, fly in the metaverse. It doesn't do that. So there you have it. It's okay.
It's okay, but it's freaky looking.
Yeah, that would not have been my first design.
Iron Child. instead of Iron
Child, I
Man,
like that,
Iron
yeah.
Child,
Iron Kid.
Iron Kid. He's coming to kill you with his flamethrowers.
There you go. That sounds like fun. I could get into that.
I'd watch that. I would watch that movie. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know, but he falls over backwards whenever he fires them
True.
because they're not actually flamethrowers. So, all right, what's next, boss?
What's next? Okay, so we're going to talk about Apple's reportedly hires Meta's AR public relations lead.
While we're on the topic.
Wow.
So,
Now that's Apple's.
No, that is not Apple's. That is a pair of swim goggles with an Apple logo that somebody got over at the dollar store.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yes. Those are just, gee, it could look like this. It's like,
What we're talking about is this is a leak, right?
yeah.
And it's
The leaker is fairly reputable.
yeah, it is, and they've been pretty on, right?
Yeah.
And so they've hired. I'm trying to find her name.
Whatever. It's the person that was in charge of branding and public
His or
relations,
her
basically,
name, yeah.
for the MetaVerse.
I hate when-
Grumman?
No, girl, I know. Mark's hired him.
Yeah.
Schubert. That's it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Andrea Schubert has been hired supposedly. By Apple.
According to
Okay.
her LinkedIn page, she was like, the lead for Oculus and Metas.
Yeah.
So
Now that that's already out, Facebook doesn't need her anymore. And besides, you can buy Facebook employees at a discount, I understand, because
Big
Facebook is
disc-
bad for your resume.
resume.
So yeah, so now they're off doing this.
Call me, guys. We got something for you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're looking for opinions.
We need people to sweep the floor, and we need opinion checkers. That's what we need.
That's it.
So yeah, there's that, and
I don't know. I
so
think it's going to be kind of.
I think, if Apple comes out with this, you can bet they're going to be the ones who you don't have to wear glasses to use their
Right.
stuff. They'll figure out that 30% of the people who use our stuff have to try to fit glasses underneath. Instead of creating a plastic piece that goes in and makes it uncomfortable and all that, why don't we just make it adjustable for people with glasses?
Right. You can blur it in and blur it out.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, all they have to do is adjust the focal length in the lens. That's it.
You're
So,
giving away trade
there you
secrets.
have it. No, I'm pretty sure anybody who knows optics figured that one out about 4
Well, I mean, even our production cameras here, we have eye cups that we can take our glasses off and we focal to our eye.
Yeah. It's the same thing with your binoculars. When
How
you buy
about that?
binoculars. Okay.
So-
You adjust one to your eye, and then they both are set. And that's-
So I'm gonna jump over our next one and go right to another. It's from Mac Rumors that Apple is planning to bring outside custom silicone chips for their Pro Display XDR.
I love this. I love
I love it, but I don't like the price.
I don't care about that. What I like is they, the whole Chinese thing, the supply chain, all that crap, pushed Apple into becoming its own manufacturer. Now they're like, oh, and by the way, we're now going to sell to outside sources as well. So it's not
Right.
losing our business. We're taking yours with a superior product.
They're really trying to go back to I think they're going to go back to the closed systems, heavily to the closed system, where everything is controlled by them for their machines.
For their machines, but these are
Yes.
being sold outside their machines. That's the point. LG is potentially buying these chips for their televisions.
Yeah, I know,
Okay. I mean, they're going, no, you don't need this AMD and crap like that. Use an Apple. Okay, you'll get better performance. You'll get, you don't have the supply chain issues. We
Right.
got you covered.
Like this XDR, I don't know if they can show a picture of the 32-inch XDR, but the thing is going to be $5,000
Sure.
just for a monitor.
Yeah.
Now, in my world, in the video world, that's really not too much to spend for a color-corrected
Exactly.
screen. So that way when we're editing, we know our color is our color is our color.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of us,
I have 2 monitors on my desk, and the colors between the 2 could not be more different.
right, and they're the
No,
same
it's
brand.
No, one is Apple and one is LG. And the color difference, even though it's like, oh, I've corrected it, yeah, sorry, the color difference is massive.
Yeah, they have a little spider
Until
thing you put on there.
realize it. Oh yeah, I haven't done that yet.
It's called a spider, and actually, like in here in the studio, we have 3 matching monitors. No, 2 matching monitors, and then one we don't make it matching because we want to see what it looks like on a different monitor.
Yep.
So but you can put up a thing called a spider and set up,
Yeah.
and walk away.
Yeah. No, I found.
And it goes
I
in
was
and
doing-
sets it.
I was doing image editing on, my Mac.
Look at that
And
bad
the Mac
boy.
has
God,
this-
that is pretty.
Yeah, I mean, the Mac has this amazing, 4K resolution. It's gorgeous. Okay, and then what I do is I then drag the image over to the LG.
Oops.
Wow, this is way too dark.
Right.
Because you have that vibrancy, you have that color in the Mac, but when you put it on what other people might
See,
be using,
right.
it's like, holy crap, this is never going to work in the real world.
So okay, so you say so. This is what because I come from an audio world, right? More than I am.
What'd you say?
Yep, exactly. So in our studios, we would always have a pair of a pair of Radio Shack speakers, right?
Hey, those used to be top of the line in the late '60s.
Then we would also have a boom box, just off the shelf
Yep.
boom box,
Yep.
and then we would lay stuff out to tape.
Yeah.
Put it in the boombox to see what it sounded like after we supposedly sweetened it, and you could go, oh, I got to go fix that.
Yeah.
And then we would run through the realistic Radio Shack big speakers and see what it sounded like in there, just so we could get an idea. Because I mean, the studio monitors that we had, not TV monitors, but the audio monitors, with everything, well, that was tuned. It was pink noise, it was white noise, it was
Sure.
done, it was set for the room so we could
Amazing when
get,
it's perfect. Yeah.
and you get out there and go, oh, that's coming through way too strong.
I
So same
discovered
thing.
this so much when I was doing the audio editing for the Omega Contingent podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, this is great. This sounds good. I hear the sound effects. Everything's great. And then I go and play it in the car.
Oh, okay,
I'm like,
that's good.
What the hell?
Yeah, where did that come
I can't even
from?
hear the dialogue. I can't hear people talking. Okay, I can get a background noise every now and then, but I actually cannot hear anything.
Right.
I had to double the volume on it because I'm sitting there with headphones and everything else, and it's crystal clear and perfect.
So
In the real world, no, it doesn't work.
it doesn't work.
So
And
Apple's
that's-
going to make sure that what you see is what they intended to see.
Right.
Send to you.
And,
Pretty damn cool.
and that is good. And if LG jumps on board, LG just became my monitor of choice.
LG is on board. Yep.
So yeah, but speaking of shortages, and why Mac's doing this is get used to chip shortages. They are not going away anytime soon, according to Interesting Engineering. I love this site. They have all kind of stuff. Experts estimated crisis will last until 2023.
Ridiculous.
Which is crazy. But I understand it takes time to go build a building. It takes it takes time to put this stuff in. So maybe that is because we've got it takes about 2 years start to finish to build a facility.
It would, and you need specialized facilities.
So that means we're going to be
It's a shame we can't
producing
take,
internally.
auto plants or find anything else that we could repurpose. I would think pharmaceutical plant would be phenomenal
Because
for
of the clean
retrofitting.
room?
Yeah, exactly. Because the whole thing is a clean room.
Yeah.
And you just retrofit it. That to me would be the way to do it.
Right.
And God knows, I mean, just go to a pharmaceutical company right now and go, hey, you just made all this trillions of dollars off COVID drugs. Why don't you go ahead and sell me that plant at a discount and go build your new one, okay? Thank you very much. Boom. But, no, nobody wants to work together.
Yeah, but I got a feeling, that's why they're saying 2023, because they're going to try to start pushing buildings.
I think they already are. Yeah,
yeah.
It's going to take time to get them online and get them up and running and then get the chips into the supply chain. But honestly, also, how much of this is, clickbait headlines designed to scare people and justify higher prices for the next 2 years?
Well, I've been saying that from the get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think those are. I don't think those are real ships out there. I think they're just inflatables, and we really don't have a chip. Or I don't have any kind of shortage.
Yeah, you could be right.
This is just all a manufactured way to charge more money.
You think?
Now that's a conspiracy theory.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. That's a spoiler.
That's a spoiler. Oh, spoiler!
All right.
All right. So.
There we go.
So we're going to jump over now. I actually kind of like this, even though it's coming out of New York. A new New York bill aims to hold social media companies accountable for disinformation.
I find that to be hilarious because we're talking about the same people who call things that were disinformation and fake news 3 months ago are now actually headlines that are happening today. Hence, I'd seen that thing. They're not. It's not disinformation. It's a spoiler.
So once they start, so they start doing this.
Yes.
Let's run down that slippery slope.
Well, hold on a minute. Let us dissect what this law actually does.
Right.
Okay. And it's very clear that what it's saying is, if you prioritize news in your news feed that ends up being fake, as they determine it, and let's not forget what
they determine is fake.
They determine is fake, okay, and they've just come out with, Facebook has admitted that their fact checks are just opinions.
Yep.
Okay, so they're opinions about opinions.
They're opinions about opinions.
So they're deciding what's fake. But they're saying that if you prioritize that information and it goes out, then you can be held criminally liable in New York, not for publishing it per se, but for prioritizing it in the news feed. And that is it's still a strong First Amendment argument against it, because now you're interfering with the social media's company's ability to decide what it wants to say more of or less of, while at the same time you are not actually stopping someone from communicating what is potentially fake news. Like we could take the whole Wuhan lab leak, okay, which was fake news until Biden ordered, the FBI to go investigate the fact that there was a lab leak, and it's probably where COVID-19 came from. Now suddenly it's not fake news anymore. Okay, and those are the issues from a philosophical standpoint that we can now discuss now that we have the law in perspective.
The law. I am the law.
Thank you, Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, I'm sorry. That was Sylvester Stallone.
That's right.
Judge Dredd.
Judge Dredd.
I am the law. Yeah.
But I mean, okay, so it's a rabbit hole.
Oh yeah. I mean, pretty soon.
Huge rabbit hole.
Yeah. And it gives what it does is as soon as they create stuff that they determine to be fake news. Like, when the New York Post published that story about the Biden laptop, totally fake news. They determine it's fake news. And then social media companies have to respond to that fake news. And they will then ban anybody who's promoting that fake news. And the net effect is to silence anyone. Right? Because it's what somebody I know created the phrase chain of reactions. Not chain reactions, but a chain of reactions. Okay? And this is not the law of unintended consequences. These are the intended consequences. Okay? Of giving the social media companies full carte blanche to go in and delete anybody that is not exactly towing the party line.
Right.
And they will be knocked off social media, period, end of statement. And the way to do that is to create a penalty for the social media companies for giving them a platform.
There you go.
And that's it. So, yeah, I mean, their fix in there is saying, if you just make it that it is a time sensitive and there's no prioritizing by your algorithm, then there's no chance for a penalty. The problem with that is, people have to turn off that feature in Facebook or wherever, and it's where Facebook makes most of its money because it promotes content. And these rules about what is real or fake news or whatever are so ambiguous and changing to the point where they're actually changing the definition of anti-vaxxer in the dictionary overnight, okay, to be against a vaccine mandate now makes you an anti-vaxxer. Well, that's ridiculous.
Yep. See, told you, rabbit hole.
Okay. Yeah, and
but that's not tech. Let's move on.
Okay.
We beat that to dead horse. Okay, so now this one to me, because I'm an audio guy, I think is absolutely phenomenal. And I watched this the other day on the news, and they did it. NASA unveils audio recording of Jupiter's largest moon, and it sounds like R2-D2. Now, I don't think it sounds like R2-D2.
Oh, yes, it does.
But so Rob's got the video.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and let Rob. We're not going to talk over it. We're just going to shut up and let Rob play this so actually you know what it sounds like. All right. So my question, I just asked it up. Is that an interpreted noise? Because I know sometimes they get signal and then they interpret what it's supposed to sound like, or is because I didn't think you could hear.
They've had to move it up to frequencies where we can hear. Okay, but basically they're just like they just shifted the frequencies on us. The underlying, at the beginning it's very clear. There's beep beep boop 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 boop, which sounds very much like R2D2.
Okay.
But then you get that echoey thing as they're going from the light side to the dark side, which is why it trails off.
And this is off of Jupiter.
No, this
Jupiter's
is Ganymede.
Ganymede,
Which is one of the largest moons of Jupiter. What's fascinating to me about it is I would love to take the R2D2 noises and try to run it through a decoding software. Is it code? Is there a message actually coming through those signals? That to me would be a fascinating exercise, because when you've got that kind of clearly delineated, beeps and whirls and whistles, even R2D2, the fake sound effects that Ben Burt put together for him, even those, he has a language. He has sounds that mean certain things. And Ben created a language for R2. So, and if you watch the movies enough, you'll hear and you'll understand what R2's saying at different times. But in this case, and there was that horrible outtake scene. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, where the Jedi started speaking in R2 language. But in this case, I'd love it if that underlying sound.
So do they know what it is?
It's just, I know everything emits
a frequency.
Some kind of radiation.
Right.
And the question is this natural or is it unnatural?
That's what I'm asking.
Is it somehow being artificially created? And yes, you can say everything is natural, okay, until you start to look more deeply into it and start to see patterns.
Right.
So if there are patterns here, and if they could stay in orbit long enough around Ganymede to sit there and really get a lot of data in, could we then process it to figure out if it is a repeating pattern? If it's a repeating pattern, is it because of some solar phenomenon? Is it because of some, earthquake or spring? Remember, Ganymede probably has more water than Earth.
Okay.
Okay? So it has a subterranean ocean.
Right.
And if that is still liquid, which they hypothesize it is, and if it's able to support life, we could be picking up the remnants of a complete alien culture living underneath, and it's all geothermally,
So my next question is, do we get the same type of noise or the same type of frequencies, and maybe not the exact same,
Earth,
off of anything?
Yeah.
So they get this all the time.
Even space has its own noise. You've heard that. Okay? Everything has some level that you can listen to, and it gives some kind of... But this one, I've never heard anything that sounded like R2.
But could it be...
I'm used to the wave, the kind of...
Right, but could it be a reflective...
And that's the thing.
Our own satellites being reflected back to us, and that's what we're hearing?
Potentially. It could be, and that's why you have to have a lot of it.
Right.
You got to analyze it over time. You can already see in that chart that they had up as part of the waveform, where the probe went from the light side to the dark side of Ganymede. And the radiation drop-off is tremendous because, guess what? the sun's not bouncing off of it, so you're not getting that reflection. That's what's creating that echoey, howling kind of noise. That's the solar radiation bouncing off of the moon. But there's that beeping underneath that I don't think is related to that wave over the top. And, it would take some work, but I'd love to isolate it and then analyze it.
What if it's an octopus planet? Because the octopus on Earth, there's no origin for that.
They've also just been designated as the other sentient species on Earth.
Right.
Because octopi are pretty freaking weird.
Yeah.
So octopus and are they actually related to squids? That's another question I'll need to research.
All right.
Thank you. Something else for me to find out.
There you go.
I love it.
So this last one here we're going to talk about is going to be our tech fail.
Okay. Roger, tech fail. Okay. You said next to the last one. There was also the interview with Elon Musk that I was going to put before it.
No.
Back.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome back. It's time.
Actually, we're going to talk about that. So the interview was fake.
No, it wasn't.
It came from the Babylon Bee.
It's not fake.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I know the art. No.
We were going to put another article in here, but we're all like, it's not real.
Bee actually landed an interview with Elon Musk.
Oh,
You
okay.
can watch the whole video.
I will watch it.
It's phenomenal. It's like an hour and a half.
Oh, God. We don't have time for that.
No, not on here, obviously, but intense conversation with Elon. And it's funny because when you listen to the Babylon Bee podcast afterwards, they're all like, wow, we were just like dummies sitting in the room with this guy. And we're going, Rocket's good, And he's like, oh yeah, and so we're trying to look at and they're like, Rocket,
Yeah.
So it was it's a fascinating insight into his mind.
Oh, okay, so that's our tech fail. But the other tech fail we're going to talk about right now is
related to this topic.
Yeah, so Tesla owner blows up a Model S with dynamite over $22,000 replacement. There has to come a point in time when you buy one of these that you know you're going to have to replace.
And that will be 10 years and 1 day because they come with a 10-year warranty.
Oh, of course.
The batteries come with a 10-year warranty. This guy's car is 11 years out.
Oh.
And his battery died. And rather than budgeting for it and say, hey, in 10 years, I'm going to need to spend 20 grand on a battery, he said, I have a much better idea. And the actual explosion occurs at the 520 mark in the video.
Yeah, we know.
Okay. And it's pretty danged impressive when that thing actually does go off.
Yeah. The guy rented cameras that are just absolutely expensive as all get out to rent. So if he's got the money to rent those, he should.
Team that films explosions.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's that Russian group that blows everything up.
Oh, okay.
And that's just one angle. But the point was they shot this thing from like 7 different angles, and they've got some amazing slow-mo.
Well, he sure didn't put money into his teeth. I guess buying money for your car is more important.
He sold his front tooth there to buy his Tesla.
Probably had some gold in there.
This is the biggest piece I think that was left, because the explosives are not just around the outside, folks. This thing is gonzo.
Oh, we were watching. I love the different angles, and then the super slow-mo. It's amazing. Even the super slow-mo could not catch the actual fire explosion, but it did catch the audio concussion wave that comes off.
Oh, wow.
Which is absolutely one of the coolest things.
Volume turned down.
Oh, really?
They have one super slow angle.
It's coming up.
Okay, from the windshield. And you here.
Now watch this one.
Look inside.
Yeah.
There's your blast.
Now watch. If you watched on the outside of the explosion, you can see the concussion wave.
Yep.
My God, that right there alone is absolutely phenomenal. And watch. There it goes. Look at it. Oh my God, that is so cool.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, I bet you they shot that on an iPhone.
No, it was a Galaxy 8. It's 8K. And then, of course, they have a drone shot.
Yeah.
Right.
Which the drone got there late. But then again, you look at the debris in the air. It's a good thing the drone was not
Yeah.
right on top of it. That's a lot of.
And then the
debris
fire
flying
marshal
around.
shows up and goes, okay, no, pick all the crap up.
Don't ever do this again. Okay. Good thing we got 9 cameras. No, that is what happens when you get PO'd about your the cost of the repair. Now, in all fairness, I have a Prius. Everybody knows that. And in looking at, there was one like little 50-cent part that went out on the brake system for my Prius. The problem was the 50-cent part was inside a $250 part.
Right.
The $250 part's inside an $1,100 part, and the $1,100 part cost $3,000 in labor to pull apart and put back together. So you get about a $4,400 repair bill for a 50-cent part.
Yep.
And fortunately, they extended the warranty to cover it. But otherwise, it turned off your power brakes.
Oh,
So
great.
you drove with regular brakes.
Oh.
That was the big thing. And every idiot light on your board lit up, like a Christmas tree. But you drove with just regular brakes. So you didn't lose the use of your car. But they did go ahead and just do the replacement. And that was
I'm not sure I would
say
have.
nice of them. But
I was sure I would have not blown up a 2013 Tesla.
no, because even the Blue Book value on it was over 20 grand. And so putting the $20,000
Before or after the batteries?
Before.
Oh.
Well, no, after, assuming it had a working battery, okay, which it did not. Now, there are aftermarket batteries, there are hacks, there are things he could have done. He decided this would be a way to pay for his new Tesla by getting 1 million views of his YouTube video instead.
Oh. Did he?
That's what he's doing.
Okay.
Okay?
I think on Tech Shamans, what we're going to do is we're going to start doing a little tech segment where we try some of the tricks. Like I saw the other day, like I hate it when my Ryobi or my Makita or my DeWalt battery
Yeah.
goes dead
Yeah.
after only using it for a little while.
Yeah.
Then I watch these guys do these hacks and it resets the memory chip on the inside because it's a chip. It's not the battery itself. It's a stupid chip that's inside of it that keeps it from charging anymore. You literally only have, so
We call that engineered obsolescence.
right. So there's the thing. So if you have something that charges, you need to read the fine print and find out how many charges that battery
Yes.
is going to take.
Right.
So a lot of people will go, oh, it's 3/4 down, but it's in the night. I'm just going to charge it up. No, because that's a tick off the amount of charges you get.
Yep.
It's not the fact the battery is dying. It's the fact that there's a chip in that stupid thing that says, oh, this is your 3,000 charge. We're not going to charge anymore.
Yeah.
I have batteries back there sitting that from our Sony cameras that I just found a hack the other day that I'm going to try to reset the battery.
Nice.
Because I have an UGG battery.
Okay.
An UGG battery is one that you put on there, it'll charge up a little bit, but then it'll do the little do flash and go,
Yeah.
can't charge anymore.
No, I just bought a battery pack, and with like 4
Double A's?
USB, no,
Oh.
4 USBs, and then a 110 outlet.
Oh, yeah,
Portable
yes.
battery
Yeah,
pack for
right.
emergencies, and because we lose power here a lot, and so I bought that.
It's
and
all the snow.
and it says it'll take 2,000 charges. And so I happened to see that, and I saw that in the messaging. So I'm like, that's intriguing.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure that I only, because they know how many it'll take.
Right.
That's amazing how that.
If you learn what your battery holds,
Yeah.
and you know how long you can get from the charge, and you know that you've only used it halfway, but you can get through the next day. Same thing with these.
Better go all the way down.
Same thing with these. There's only so many charges allowed on your cell phone before the battery dies. And it's not holding a charge. It's doing that on purpose.
Conspiracy theory to me.
It's not.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was my biggest complaint to Sony when I bought all these cameras. I'm like, I come out, I'm like, why are my batteries dying so quick? And they're like, are you charging them all the time? I'm like, no, but when we're done, we immediately put them on the charger. They're like, run them down. It's not a memory thing. It's the amount of charges that's allowed on the battery.
That's cool.
And I'm like, really? And they're like, oh yeah, that's the way that, because,
the first light bulb that Edison built is still burning. Okay.
right.
And yet, even your LEDs, you look at it, how many hours? And and by the way, I have headlamps that are exactly set for like 250 hours of use in my car. And lo and behold, I was leaving my headlights on all the time because they would auto shut off when I turned it off. I wasn't even thinking about it. Every freaking 3 months.
Well, yeah, because they're in the auto because they're still receiving a...
Well, no. I was driving just that amount. And when I went back and I looked over the number of hours and the driving I was doing, I'm like, look at that, 250 hours, boom, done. And so
That's crazy.
I realized I use my DRLs now instead of clicking them up. The cool thing is, by the way, here's a nice little hack for you. These things usually come with a 1-year warranty.
Oh, there you go.
So you go buy your bulbs, keep your receipt.
Go back.
Because you get free bulbs for the rest of the year. And it's built into the price.
There you go.
So, because those are like, 89-cent bulbs that they charge you $25 for.
So this is your tech tip of the week. We are telling you when you buy something that charges, look at how many, don't go by the hours, look how many charges, because it's in the fine print.
Yep.
It's in every one of them. I was like, and after I learned that, I'm like, well, that's crazy. So yeah, next week I'm going to try to. I have 4 batteries that are sitting there. Then these kids showed me how to. This kid on YouTube shows you how to reset different brands.
Nice. Share that video with me personally, please.
So you can actually sit there and go, well, I'm like, well, that's crazy. That shouldn't be allowed. You should just.
I've got a couple that are,
Yep.
my Porter cable. Yeah.
All right. So next week, we're going to have some really cool stuff. We're actually going to start we're actually looking for people that want to get their products out to the masses, and especially if you're tech, and you just, techshamans@webeamtv.com. If you've got something you want us to talk about, you've got to send us one. We're going to put it through its paces because we're not just going to sit there and go, this is a great thing.
B2B. Let us know.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. So that way,
cool stuff.
Because we like techie stuff and we like geeky stuff, even if it's outside stuff or whatever. So thank you for watching today. Hey, you know what? We'll see you next week, and it'll be a new year next week. So see you next year.
We won't see you for next year. Bye, everybody.
Shamans, we understand cause we are the Tech Shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Cool.